Yeah, that's right. Chicago. CHICAGO, and we are back again on another fantastic Sunday night, Monday morning. Yeah, we are here in the HOUSE. How y'all doing out there? Huh? I am absolutely fabulous. And you should be doing fabulous too. And you can do fabulous if you just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Have you had any ideas? Have you ever had a dream? Have you ever had anything that you wanted to accomplish? We're having a fantastic DAY weather night, NIGHT. Yeah, you all, I want to welcome you to the show, to the CHANNEL. Not that you can't spell, but we want to welcome you to the channel. We want to welcome you to the channel tonight because tonight we got a lot of things to talk about. I don't know how long it's going to go. I guess until, I run out of gas. But needless to say, you all, I want to welcome you to the show, to the channel. And if this is your first time watching this channel, I want you to share the information. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. Yeah. For all of my Chicagoans out there, what do you all think about, Jay Cutler having to do those couple of days in jail, Yeah. Money. Let that had been me. Let that had been me, Mr. Jay Cutler, Mr. X, former Chicago Bear. Let that have been me. We just saying about that, And if you all are into fitness, like you do yoga, if you do yoga, you may want to be careful. Because sometimes when you do those yoga moves, you can actually cause yourself or enhance your chance of having a stroke. Especially when you're doing those, those neck bends. Yeah. All the way back. And you hold it when you're not supposed to be holding it. You can cause yourself a stroke. Well, how is that, Mo? You can cause yourself a stroke by having arterial dissection in your neck. Well, what do I mean by that? Arterial dissection is when you rotate your neck so fast, rapidly, or if you hyperextend, all the way back like yabba dabba doo, back like that. And you cause a friction in your main two arteries that's in your neck. And when you do that, the blood seeps in, and creates a clot. And later on blows up like a balloon. So you have this thing in your neck, You all seen people walking around like that, right? I have. They have a tumor in their neck, which actually can suffocate their brain, which causes a stroke. Many times, people have it on the left side or the right side of their body, which brings about a paralysis you know. Yeah. Y'all be careful out there. Okay. And not only that, do you know when you go to those hair salons and you're getting your hair done and you tilt your neck back into the sink, where she's draining, your hair from all of the soap, and the conditioner and all of that, that strain, that hyperextension of your neck can also, enhance you having a stroke. 100. Hyperextending it, When your body say, hey, I can't go no more, don't go no more. Don't force yourself. If it's only for that extended time, for a minute, that's what you can do. If not, you're injuring yourself. Even with exercising. Rotation cups, overextend some of your limbs, stretch them too far. Oh, a lot can happen when you're working out. Working out is like breakdancing, Especially when you get older, at least like, if you're not Jackie Chan. How old is Jackie Chan? Man. And he's very, flexible. What they call that? How many of y'all can do that? Right now, today, Who we got out there? Carlos Pina. Hey, how's it going, Carlos? Flintstones. Carlos Pina. Yeah, Carlos Pina. It's called Thyroids Are Inflamed. That is what it is. Who is that? YS Hardcore said hi. I want to send shouts out to everybody that's in the chat room right now. Everybody that's in the chat room. I want to send a thanks out and a shouts out to you for being here, because you could have been somewhere else with someone else doing something else, okay? Yeah, I know sometimes I make it to the bridge, I give you 2 versus 3, okay? Yeah, but you could have been doing something else with someone else somewhere else. But you're here, and we're so glad that you're here, and we tip our hat to you. Yeah, Chicago. Before we get to that, all of those out there who support the special that I have on this program that is entitled We Got That Smoke with Minister Louis Farrakhan, with Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, with Dr. John Henry Clark, with Dr. Amos Wilson, with Dr. Ben Johakinen. I want to thank you for supporting your views to that material on this channel. I thank you for that. And you can also go over to my other channel, MOPOWERZ. All one word, no space, here on YOUTUBE. And check out those audiobooks that we've left for you all, like Stolen Legacy, Blackman of the Nile and His Family, From Babylon to Timbuktu, which I put my foot in. As a Man Thinketh. Yeah, The Fall of America. The Message to the Black Man in America. Yeah, go over there. The Destruction of Black Civilization. Go over there. Right now. Nah, not right now, but, after this content that we have for you viewers here on the channel. It's going down. Who we got? Perla? Is that Perla? Perla? Sounds like an old school name. And we are old school here. How many of y'all wish you had old school people in your life right now that really was on old school things? Yeah, we are gems. And I'm an old schooler. But we got it for you. Here on THEMOSHOW Chicago and MOPOWERZ. But getting back to MOPOWERZ with those audio books, yeah. Go check out the 16 Crucified Saviors, which we're going to have a remix to that on this channel. We're going to have a remix to the Miseducation of the Negro on this channel, which you can find on MOPOWERZ. And do what? To support the channel, subscribe, like, and share. That's right. No money, just a press of a button. Can you do that? We appreciate you. We tip our hat to you. Here in Chicago, absolutely madness. Now, the crime in Chicago has went down, okay? Absolute fact. Before the presence of ICE, okay? Before the presence of ICE. I can remember maybe about a month ago, when ICE first started presenting themselves here, all along the expressways and everything, 290, going into 94. Yeah, they made their presence known specifically right there. White trucks with the blue lights. Some got red lights. But you see the white truck, the SUV, four-door Tahoe. When you get along around there by the Jackson exit, the Adams exit, you'll see them. Randolph, sitting there with their parked vehicles. But now, right now, it has become something else. Because people have been shot, injured by ICE. Here in Chicago. First it took place out there in Benson? No. Broadview? Then it takes at another place here on Pershing, which is 39th Street here in Chicago. You got people ramming the ICE vehicles, trapping them in. One woman got shot in the chest, the arm, and the leg, okay? But she survived, Then you have the, Chicago ICE, federal invasion of Chicagoans. Shoots a black man. Excuse me. Chokes a black man. They choke a black man. Who we got out there? Big Line, Guy, Mini BDLT, YS Hardcore. Yeah, we're in the building. But needless to say, ICE agents, I'm leading up to the choking of the black man, okay? I'm leading, up to that. Here it is, you have the ICE people, the ICE gang, the colonizers, they come to the west side of Chicago. The west side of Chicago. Where there's really not, too many Hispanics or Latinos. However, this is a scare tactic. They come for undocumented immigrants, which I'm for. I'm for that. If you are an undocumented immigrant that is help creating madness, I agree with that. Okay? However, if you are a brown or, what you want to call yourself, black person here in the city of Chicago, the ICE people know that. They should know that because according to their training, they are trained to arrest people upon how they look. Oh, yeah. To how they look. Don't argue with me, man. I'm not making this a racist thing. Donald Trump has made this a racist thing and an undocumented illegal immigrant thing. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Okay? I didn't do that. But I understand about the illegal immigrants that's undocumented, that is causing havoc. But when you go over here on 75th, which is right by Rainbow Beach, and you invade that apartment complex the way that you did, most of the people who live there are predominantly people who look like me. Not no Trinidad Aruga. Not no gangs. You got 16 people out of 5 floors in an apartment complex that was, undocumented, illegal, that they detained. But while they were detaining them, they knew that those people weren't Hispanic. And that's according to Homeland Security. Homeland Security, had a snapback, or in return of a conversation. Like, look, we went and did that to everybody, but everybody in the building wasn't undocumented. And you knew that most of those people, there were people who looked like me. They don't care. The thing that I'm trying to tell you is that this is a scary time in America. Especially if you're a black man or a black woman, which they call you, It's like on a job application, And they ask you, are you black? Are you white? Are you, Sometimes that's kind of hard to answer because I'm not black. How do you get black out of brown? I mean, that don't look like that, but. Miseducation of the Negro. Not that the example that I gave you was from that book. No, that's my own personal example. I was in Minnesota one time. When the George Floyd thing kicked off after Derek Chauvin, killed, murdered, George Floyd. I was there, I was staying in Minnesota at the time. And I tell you, people still forget that when these murders take place, not crime, but mass shootings like Sandy Hook, like Colorado shootings, like the football high school games, like the church bombings, They say that Chicago bad and ICE is here and we need National Guards here. But if you look at it from how I look at it, the National Guard and ICE need to be where I just mentioned those crimes were committed in that area or from that area where those people or a section of the people are from. I lost something in that message. I know I did. It happens sometimes. I lost something in that message. Anyway, yeah. ICE is not wanted in Chicago. Here it is, you have Mayor Fritzer saying that if you're not white, ICE is going to harass you all downtown. Yeah. If you're not white, you're going to get harassed if you're downtown in Chicago. Those are the words of, Governor Fritzer. Okay. Mayor Brandon Johnson, he's just like, not with the whole program at all, but what can he do? Fritzer is his boss. And Donald Trump is Fritzer's boss. We'll put a pause on that right now, okay? On ICE. On ICE. Do you see what they did to the people in Lincoln Park? Did you see that? Huh? Who we got out there? Tommy, good morning from Sweden. Hey, we got some fans from Sweden. We want to thank you and welcome you to the show. And since that I've never had a person in the chat room from Sweden, make sure you press the subscribe button, hit that notification bell and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos on YOUTUBE. Yeah, we got one out there from Sweden. Dino Yobo. So you don't support ICE. We'll get to that. You remind me of Grady of Sanford and Hey, Grady was the dude, okay? Grady was the dude out there. Who was that? Who was that? Lane Hancock. WVO. Shots out to you. Me and Grady, okay? We want to send the shots out to you, okay? And everybody that's out there in the chat room that's coming in, we want to thank you, tip our hat to you, and welcome you to the CHANNEL. Tell your family, friends, and co-workers about the channel. Yes. But the ICE, someone asked me, do I support ICE? Who is that? Dino Yaboy. Dino Yaboy. I support ICE in the fact that if they are for undocumented illegals that's in this country, I'm for that. I'm for that. But for the detaining and kidnapping of American citizens, no. I'm not for that. They just even arrested a Democrat alder woman here in Chicago at the hospital. At the hospital. They put her in handcuffs and everything. And whoever was behind the camera stated that you know that you are arresting a Democratic alder person. Yeah. But they uncuffed her when she was outside of the hospital and told her that if she trespassed in the hospital, again, because they were detaining someone that was injured during their captivity by ICE, yeah, if she come back in there, she will go to jail or to the concentration camp. You know. Yeah. But they put in cuffs and everything. You all know what I'm talking about, Jesse. You know that older woman? Yeah. They don't care who you are. Just like that black man that they choked over here on Congress, Van Buren, you know, right by 290, get on the expressway ramp right there, you know. Yeah, choked the man. But they say that he committed a robbery and an accident occurred, but they snatched him out the vehicle and choked him. It's all over the cameras, all over social media. ICE is here for immigrants. But it appears to me that not only are they here for immigrants, they're here for black citizens. Huh? I don't see no white citizens get arrested and detained. I haven't seen a one that was mistaken as an immigrant. No, I have not seen one Caucasian citizen. I've seen black people arrested. I've seen Hispanic people arrested. Okay. I haven't seen one Caucasian, you know, that's mistaken for detainment. Not one. But it seems to me, and I could be wrong, and I'm entitled to be wrong like you are entitled to be wrong. You know? Can you see the chain of events that is about to take place? They've already somewhat taken away your freedom of speech. And now they are invading just on your whole person as a being. If you're not the right skin tone, if you're not the right skin tone, I would never have thought that ICE was coming to the hood. Well, you got Hispanic hoods here in Chicago. Go over there. You all are arresting and detaining American citizens. Or does Donald Trump consider black people here in America as citizens? Since he sanctioned the ICE, the Operation Midway Blitz operation, you know? Operation Midway Blitz, yeah. But it's not just affecting the undocumented illegal immigrants. It's affecting black people. People who look like me. Who can show you whatever you want. We've been to the DMV, okay? And they still detain you. They still arrest you. They still kick in your door. They still kick in your door. But yet, you still have crime across the city. Like the 16-year-old who was fatally shot in her chin over there on 56th in Michigan. But we got ICE already against us. People who look like me thought that they didn't have nothing to worry about, but they do. But the 16-year-old girl, I'm tying all of this in. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. You see what ICE is doing? They say they're looking for a Tren de Arugula. Ain't no Tren de Arugula on 75th and South Shore Drive. How many people stay in that apartment complex? Yeah, I'm going back and forth. Yeah, it's just coming out. It's just what it is. But the 16-year-old girl, getting back to her, shot in the chin. No one has been apprehended. We're killing ourselves, but we got ICE against us. You got two men that was shot and killed. Excuse me. Two people were shot and one of them was killed here on the city's west side. But we got ICE to deal with. At least 10 people have been shot over the weekend, and 4 of them are dead. That is a significant decrease. You know why? Because people staying in the house. It's not that, trying to stay safe from ICE, who are not only arresting undocumented illegal immigrants, but people who look like me too. And they took that boy down the street, down the alley that was over there on Congress, the one that they choked, that they snatched out of the vehicle, that said that he was in a robbery. You're here for the immigrants, bro. The police are supposed to do that. But according to John Hine, yes, here in Chicago, John Hine is the chief patrol guy, the chief patrolman. And when all of that madness took place over there on 39th and Kedzie, where the woman got shot, the man got shot for ramming ICE, John Hine said, hey, we don't want you over there. We don't want you over there. Don't support them. That's what the Chicago chief of patrolmen said from the Chicago Police Department, okay? Don't argue with me. Argue with the reporter, okay? That's not even up for debate, okay? Who we got out there? Dino, Tommy Sadastrom. Good morning from Sweden. Okay. Gary, I don't know how to read it. Well, I don't even want you to know if I could read the Japanese, the Chinese, whatever Asian languages that is. I want to let you know that even if I did know it, okay? But I want to say thank you. Hello, sir. Hello, sir, to you back. What country are you from? What language do you speak? Is that Chinese? Is that Japanese? Is that Korean? Now, Korean is a different thing because I was in Korea for like a year. I had a great time over there. Lived in Korea. Yeah, South Korea. Weejumbu. Yeah, Weejumbu. Yeah. But when I first got there, I was in Tundachon. I stayed in Tundachon for about maybe 2 weeks. And then, I moved to Weejumbu. Straight up. Korea. Had a blast. And if you've never been to Korea, I'm sorry that you missed the golden days when everything was cheaper, because right now things are much more expensive than they were back then. I mean, we had tailor-made everything, But anyway, getting back to Chicago. ICE and the killing and the arresting, or of how we're helping them. Yeah, I know I'm all over the board right now, but I'm settling down right now. I'm settling down right now. hmm Now, you still have this black on black crime. Maybe that will never cease here in Chicago. However, it has gone down. But black people, let me tell you something. We got ICE to deal with. You know, it's not like they won't leave. But Donald Trump has deployed the National Guards here. Yes, that's done. He has deployed the National Guard. He's also deployed them to Portland, Oregon, which we would get to, and Memphis. Okay. But here in Chicago, so now you have your own crime rate, your own black on black crime, you know, like people robbing other people for their cell phones and their bank card, then transferring money after the fact to their account, after the fact that they're already on probation or already are in some litigation of being innocent or guilty, and involving the very same thing, gun, phone, and transfer of accounts. I don't understand. At this present time, I don't care if you're a GD, I don't care if you're a BD, I don't care if you're a breed, I don't care if you're a stone, I don't care if you're a foe, I don't care if you CVL, I don't care if you UVL, I don't care if you CIVL, whatever flag or star that you are, even the Latino, like Spanish Cobras, like Maniac Latin Disciples, like Latin Jivers, like Spanish Gangster Disciples, you know, those, you know, SDs, you know, them IGs, Imperial Gangsters. I don't even think Imperial Gangsters around no more. But needless to say, stay your ass in the house. Even if you are a gang member, is your hustling, your, you know, prestige, your reputation, or how you get money on the block? Which one is more valuable? And I don't care who you are or what street gang you belong to, as I just mentioned a few of them. Just a few of them. Stay in the house. If they kick in your door, you know, hopefully you got somewhere else to hide. But they coming for you. But black people, you better be aware too, because they taking you too. Walking you down the alley like they did that young black man over there on 290. Who knows what happened to him in the alley? You had people all around talking about he's an American citizen. In fact, about Chicago is not even within the 100-mile radius in which these border patrols people are supposed to be at. They're not supposed to be in the inner city, but, you know, Governor Fritzer can't top Donald Trump. It's an invasion on urban America. It's an invasion on all of those Democratic states or safe havens who did not support Trump. These cities and states that Trump is deploying the National Guard to, just like California. You don't hear too much about that no more. That was a safe haven. Chicago is a safe haven. You know, asylum cities. It wasn't because in Portland, Oregon, because Ice Cube bus got burned up. No, it wasn't because of that. No, that was just some tweaker or some criminal who wanted to set the bus on fire. If you haven't been to Portland, Oregon, don't judge Portland, Oregon. They are racist as HE double hockey sticks, okay? But there's no need for National Guards there. I mean, I've been there. So you like, they're racist, yeah. But they ain't did nothing to me. I haven't had one person in Portland, Oregon or Seattle, Washington that called me nigger. You know, Niggr. Yeah, I never ran into one. Not yet. And I be on that side of the map a lot. Yeah. That's how I move. I don't care if you know the area I'm in, okay? I'm not there at that time. I'm not there at that time. So for all of you haters that's out there, I'm sorry. But I tried to hook up with people on YouTube. But, you know, ain't no friends on YouTube. You gotta learn on your own and beware the traps. Just like black people got traps here in their own community and they still got ICE behind them. And now we're gonna have National Guards. You know, California National Guards are being deployed to Portland, Oregon. They even got them deployed to Memphis right now. I guess undocumented illegal immigrants are everywhere, okay? But like I said, it's for those states that went against Trump. He's coming for all his enemies. But we have got to, you know, gangbangers, everything. Stay inside. They got to leave. People act like, you know, this is the first time that the National Guards have been deployed to Chicago. Nah. They were deployed back in 1968 under Mayor, what's his name? Rich Daley? You know, senior, because his son was the mayor also. You had black people that loved his son. I don't know why, but they did. I guess they felt they had a fair shake with Richard Daley Jr. But Richard Daley Sr. in 1968 called the National Guards into the city of Chicago. Yeah, military troops, and they killed people. They shot and killed people. Just like these ICE people have done. And seeing that they are really not supported by the Chicago police, yeah, the troops are in, okay? The troops are in. So hopefully you have some home insurance, because the federal government is not giving you a dime. Hopefully you got some home insurance so when those damages occur, but hopefully it's in your, you know, package of terms, you know. It's bad. It's bad when you have Donald Trump says that the shutdown of the American government system is good. That's bad when he says that. And he says that because he says that you can get rid of things. But it seems to me that not only are you getting rid of things, you're getting rid of people. Yeah, people. Even those people who are documented. Even those people who are U.S. citizens. And we'll sort the rest out later. Like I said, not only did Governor Fritz say that Donald Trump is attacking or ICE is attacking communities based upon how you look. Like I said, you know, Governor Fritz said if you're not white, the governor of the state of Illinois says that if you're not white, ICE is going to harass you. And y'all wonder why I'm not down there recording. I'm not getting paid. Why risk your freedom? Especially under this administration. Because they've just gone whack bananas. What is it like in your city and state? Where ICE is shooting people, your citizens, where ICE is killing your citizens, where ICE is invading your property. Are you hiding? Are you secretly somewhere where you're not supposed to be? What city and state you from? Who we got out there? We got Guy, I'm back. We got, hello, sir. We got Guy. We got Ivan Curry. Trump is the GOAT. Damn, Trump is the GOAT? Ivan? Phew. Ivan, why would you say that Trump is the GOAT? Yeah, his name is Ivan Curry. Ivan Curry, why would you say that Trump is the GOAT? Could you please respond to that? Slick Rick, they are breaking into homes in the middle of the night and zip tying kids. Yes, they are. Slick Rick. Ivan Curry voted for Trump 3 times in a row and proud of it. Slick Rick. Trump's approval rating is at 42%. Ivan Curry, don't matter. Nobody is above the law. Okay. Love the interaction in the chat room, you all. Love the interaction in the chat room. And like I said, if this is your first time watching this channel, we tip our hat to you. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. Now, moving right along from this ICE situation here. Oh, damn. We got DF. We got 9. 9 She Love, 9 World. Sorry if I mispronounced it. I did the best I could, okay? But I recognize you and I acknowledge you and I send shots out to you. Denise Sirach, edited twice. AZ, Carlos Reyes, J Mastermind. Hey, everybody out there in the chat room. Like I said, I want to send my shots out to you. Everybody. Because you could have been doing something else with someone else. And you didn't have to be on this channel. You could have been doing something else. But we thank you here for this Sunday night, Monday morning. Yeah. And by the way, shouts out to Reverend Jesse Jackson on his 84th birthday. Yeah. Seeing that we're talking about Chicago. Shouts out to Reverend Jesse Jackson. Okay? Did y'all go by that Rainbow Coalition Foundation Institute? Yeah, it is an institute. Any school of thought is an institute. Even if you're into a religion, it's an institute. Y'all don't forget that. Just like I don't want you all to forget the Kansas cop that killed Charles Adair. Charles Adair, 50-year-old black man. Sent there in the Kansas Detention Center for misdemeanor traffic violations. Traffic violations. The man has schizophrenia and he has a leg that don't work. Okay? How is he a threat to the police? While he's in their custody, Charles Adair. Charles, Adair. Put him on the list with, Robert Blake and Sandra Bland and Trayvon Martin. And even though Trayvon Martin wasn't shot and killed by the police, but you can put him on, the list with Freddie Gray. And a whole host of other black men and black women who lost their lives to the hands of the police. Now, this cop, this turnkey, this jail guard, Richard Fatherly, isn't that ironic or an obnoxious name? Fatherly. But he kills the black man by doing what? Pulling almost a George Floyd, not on his neck, but in his back for 89 seconds. For 89 seconds, press his knee in the back of this black man who was already handicapped, who was already schizophrenia. Puts his knee in the back while he's cuffed. That's some punk shit. See, while y'all standing in the house, you all really need to be connecting, but stay off the streets. But anyway, getting back to Charles Adair, because this is where it's going. Cops have been given the green light. Yeah, the green light. Cops, ICE, National Guards. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. We Chicagoans don't want any of the action that is coming from Donald Trump, nor from cops like people like Richard Fatherly in Kansas. Killed the man. Asphyxiation. Suffocated the man. And that cop, the former cop, Richard Fatherly, he didn't get arrested or anything. No bond, just a summons to court. Y'all better wake up out there. Y'all better wake up out there. Because Trump ain't playing. And if you've never, or if you've ever, have you ever had a dream in your life? Now's the time to do it. Oh, by the way, remember I made a statement earlier, and I was telling you how I lost my train of thought. And that was about all of you gangbangers and all of you family members that got problems with yourself. You all need to put those problems aside. All gangbangers. All gangbangers. There should be no killing in the street right now. Trump has issued an urban assault, not only in the Hispanic community, but black communities as well. I knew it would come back to me. Trump has issued that. Y'all be careful out there. Or you may end up like Charles Adair. Yeah, Adair. Kansas. And the cop was found guilty. Well, he got charged with Richard Fatherly, the former deputy sheriff, police, whatever you want to call, the monster, was charged with manslaughter and second-degree murder of Charles Adair. The DA brought up the charges. Yeah. The DA brought up the charges. Yeah. But if it's your time, if you got a dream of something, do it. Do it right now. And seeing that we are under these economic stress situations and color stress situations, especially economic, which I want to get back to. Because if you got some bad habits right now at this point, this is a great time to get rid of them because you can't afford them. Great time. The MAGA, Let's Make America Great Again. How about making yourself great again? MYMA. Making yourself great again. GA. MYGA. Yeah. How about making yourself great again? Because in a minute, ain't nobody going to be able to afford nothing. And like I said, Donald Trump said that a shutdown is good. Good for who? Good for people who are in the realm of Donald Trump. It ain't for the average, everyday, blue-collar worker. And I want to let you all in on a little secret, too. Seeing that we're talking about Donald Trump, racial inequality, did you know that most black men, the average black man in America, never makes $50,000 a year? Thank you, Mo. Yeah, that's 100. You want me to say it again? The average black man in this country never makes over $50,000 in their entire life. And Donald Trump is going to make sure that you don't make 49, okay? I'm just saying. Right now, it's becoming to a time where you're self-made or you're not. Because it's a us versus them. It's become poor people versus the rich. Maybe poor people of all different hues can understand that. If you know better, you'll do better. The violence would cease. They have to leave. But we can't get rid of cops like, well, I guess they are getting rid of them slowly. Like they're Richard Fatherly. It's a shame that we live in the world in which we live in today. At this state and age. But seeing that we are ruled by a beast, our actions become beastly. And we turn among ourselves. And we turn among ourselves. When we already have opposition against us. That's not being racist or pulling a racial card. Hey, we just keeping it a buck. That's 100. And black people know that they got it bad, but they still do bad to themselves. Self-hatred, lack of self-knowledge of who you are. How long are you going to be a victim? Because me personally, I have luxury, good home, and friendships in all walks of life. If you are a poor black man, you need some outside help sometime. Just like Harriet Tubman needed some outside help. It don't matter what color you are in the crayon box. Where you at in mind? And speaking of mind, we want to thank you for watching We Got That Smoke. Once again, we want to thank you for that. We want to reiterate on that. So if you haven't viewed those videos, those uploads of We Got That Smoke with Mr. Louis Farrakhan, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Amos, Dr. Benja Hockinen, tribute to Neely Fuller. Watch those uploads that we have on this channel. And those audiobooks over there on MOPOWERZ, As a Man Thinketh, is over there too. Yeah, you want me to go back down through the list for you? Stolen Legacy, Blackman of the Nile and His Family, The Destruction of Black Civilization, The Fall of America, The Message to the Black Man in America, Demonology of King James, The Miseducation of the Negro, The World's 16 Crucified Saviors, From Babylon to Timbuktu, which I put my foot in. Y'all get yourself over there to that channel, MOPOWERZ. And if you are into Chicago anything, that's old school, hip-hop, gangster rap, R&B, spoken word, Chicago street clips, go over to my other channel, THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space here, on YOUTUBE. And on our way out the door, we ask that you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, the word all, you know, the bell and the all. Yeah, to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos here on YOUTUBE. And we ask that you press those condiments, the like and the share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. You can even join the channel. Support the channel. Just support the channel. Just press the thumbs up and the subscribe. We'll see you all later. Thanks for viewing. Peace out. Never give up on your dreams. It's your host with the most, MO on THEMOSHOW Chicago, where the execution of knowledge is POWER, but you got to apply it, okay? Yeah, you got to apply it. That's my time.